Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen. If you find that this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So, first of all, chosen, I want to talk to you all about the industry, which is a large part of the Beast of Babylon, the powers that were, specifically the entertainment industry, and how there have been particular women, specifically melanated women, though, because this agenda is largely against the melanated community. Specifically, melanated women have been planted in the industry. These are agents, okay? These are women who have been manipulated, and they have sold their soul for fame and fortune. Okay? The powers that were has taken specific figures such as the Nicki Minaj's, the Megan Stallions, whatever her name is, Cardi B, so-called Sexy Red, and they have used these figures to place a specific image out there of melanated women, right? Targeting the youth and trying to manipulate the minds of others to thinking that this is the standard. This is what men want. This is what's attractive. This is what will get you fame and fortune. If you present yourself this particular way, this is what makes you, alluring. And so they have played on the carnal nature of humanity within the melanated community, right? They've brought these particular beings forward, and these are agents who have been given a specific assignment to degrade and to lower the value and the standard in the melanated community. Now, this has been done because the powers that were understood that moving into the age of Aquarius, we will be stepping into a time where the goddesses, the true divine feminine, will begin to awaken and emerge from the shadows, right? They understood that in the age of Aquarius, a major shift would take place. There would be a purging and a purification of energy that would make a lot of people turn inward, look at themselves, and really decipher whether or not they are operating in their highest vibrational frequency or are they operating in their carnal nature. People's eyes would open and healing would begin to take place. The powers that were understood that the divine feminine, the goddesses out there, are the healers. The goddesses set the standard. The goddesses receive the divine messages that would then go on to help nurture and to heal our community, humanity as a whole, society as a whole. The powers that were understood that the goddesses are the mothers that would nurture the youth who would go on to be the next generation of leaders. And so the whole objective has been to use agents such as these particular figures that are being shown here. They are just a few examples, but it began with figures such as Lil' Kim. But there wasn't a whole lot of Lil' Kims back in the day, especially in the melanated community. So they knew they had to amp it up because the goddess energy is so powerful that even though we are still emerging, we are still awakening, we are still coming out of the shadows, right? A small number of us in comparison to a large number of Cardi B's and Sexy Reds, our energy is still that much more powerful. The objective, though, they understood that the goddesses would awaken first. And so the gods, the kings out there, the divine masculine, many of the masculines would still be asleep and operating in their carnal and lustful nature. And so they understood that they had to push this agenda of sex, lust, even illusions about what the standard of beauty is onto the melanated man while they were still in their sleep state, in hopes that it would take them further, push them further into their carnal nature, because the powers that were, the beast of Babylon, feeds on sexual energy, low vibrational sexual energy to be more exact. And so the agents that have been planted in the industry, the entertainment industry, have pushed this silicone illusion that beauty comes from the knife. Beauty is not authentically and naturally given to you, but yet beauty is given to you through having enough money to pay for a illusionary body, right? And so now you see a lot of this wave of people running to plastic surgeons to go under the knife to look like these so-called entertainers. But what they're doing is entertaining, right? Because you find that a lot of these entertainers, after they have gotten their money, after they have pushed their agenda for a specific period of time, they go and they have these silicones removed. They do reversal surgery because, see, they got the money to pay for all of that. So the common person who has gone and fell for the illusion and spent up thousands of dollars on this fake plastic body now has to deal with health issues. They have to deal with self-esteem issues. They have to deal with being ridiculed, talked about, and their own lack of growth, because now they have sold themselves over to go up underneath the knife for the sake of looking like an illusion, for the sake of looking like a hoe. Okay? And some people might take offense to this, those people who have decided that that is the standard of beauty. But the truth is hurt. It hurts. You know, the truth can be very offensive to those who want to continue to live in the illusion of a lie. The truth is offensive. But I'm not here to coddle anybody. We got to face the fact that the powers that were have an agenda, and they are going to fulfill that agenda by any means necessary. And unfortunately, within our community, there are too many people that believe that money, green paper with dead presidents on it that enslaved your ancestors, is the standard. That's what happiness is. That's where peace lies. They fell for it, but they find out not too long afterwards that that is most definitely not where happiness lies. And so that's why you see a lot of these beings in the music industry or in the entertainment industry in particular, they're very miserable, very disappointed with life. They're disappointed with themselves. They cannot find happiness. And so rather than having that internal peace, they go out and they have to push this narrative to the world that happiness lies in, you know, knowing different people that have money, or happiness comes from having this type of name brand bag, or this type of car, or these types of clothings, or this type of, you know, weave. And so they present a particular image to the world where they're smiling and they're drinking and they're, you know, partying and doing all of these things to make the sleeple believe that that life is where, you know, true bliss lies. And it's all a lie. It's all an illusion. Okay? And so the goddesses have emerged. We have awakened. We're stepping forward, and we're fulfilling our assignment as the standard. And so the whole objective is to push this narrative as much as possible to overshadow what they knew would ultimately arise and awaken. Okay? The powers that were understood what time we was moving towards. And so that's why they're pressing that much harder to fool the masses into believing that plastic and, you know, silicone and anything that's fake, the bigger the lashes, the longer the weave, the longer the nails, you know, all of this fake energy, the bigger the butt, fake butts though, okay? That is supposed to be what is beautiful. But the good thing, though, is that now that the goddesses have emerged, the kings, the gods, and the divine masculine now have a comparison. They have something to compare this lustful Jezebel spirit to. And when you compare a goddess to a low vibrational, lustful Jezebel spirit, there is no comparison. Once these kings come into contact with a goddess, a plastic, lustful being is garbage to them. The standard and what they will always seek will be a goddess from that point on, because that's just how healing and enlightening the presence of a goddess energy is. A man who has come into contact with a goddess cannot turn back to lustful beings. They cannot turn back to the Jezebel spirit, because the presence of a goddess is just that healing. It's just that awakening. And so now these low vibrational, carnal natured women who have decided to fall into the illusion and the trap of the powers that were, they now have to face themselves, because the masculines are starting to speak out. They're starting to tell the truth about what that energy really brings, what it really gives birth to. They're starting to tell the truth, and they're starting to accept the fact that no, that is not the standard. No, that is not sexy. No, that is not attractive. No, that is not beautiful. No, that is not to be desired. It's a cesspool of Jezebels. It's a disgusting energy. And so these masculines, once they are able to compare to a goddess, they actually see it. It makes them look at themselves. It makes them face themselves and question, why am I drawn to a lustful Jezebel illusion when I can grow and build with a goddess? It makes them face themselves. And so the powers that were, they know that they're losing their grip. They know that they're losing their grip. And this is why they will send people such as so-called Sexy Red into schools to, encourage and brainwash the youth into believing that her lifestyle, the way she presents herself to the world, is the standard. That's what is attractive. That's what young girls should aspire to become. Because if you act that way, then there's a future for you, right? There's a future for being a hoe. There's a future for, being trashy and lacking class and lacking self-love and just being loud, disrespectful. Okay? They want the young women to believe that that is where their future lies, and that there is a place in the world for them that will embrace them and that will applaud that type of behavior. But again, the goddesses are here. They ended up pushing to the side people like Lauryn Hill, Jill Scott, many of the singers who, Erykah Badu, they push them over to the side, right? Because they don't want that to be the standard for the youth in the melanated community, specifically the young girls. And so please pay attention to everything that's going on around you. Divine feminine, come out of the shadows. Show the world what it really looks like to eyewitness goddess energy emerging. Okay? Show the world what it really looks like. Show the young women what it really looks like to be in your goddess energy, to be graceful, to be feminine, okay? To be awakened and enlightened, to be a healer, to be spiritual. Because this is the greatest threat to the establishment of the powers that were, is for the goddesses to emerge and to actually make it known who you are unapologetically. Because once the masculines get a view, once they have contact with the energy of a goddess, they shift, they awaken. You give birth to future gods and goddesses when you come into union, the divine masculine and feminine coming into union and teaching and rearing up their children to come into remembrance of their godhood and that royalty DNA that they naturally possess. This is a threat to the entire foundation of the powers that were. So that's my message for you all. Keep shining, keep thriving. Masculines, pay attention to what's being presented to you. Pay attention to how they are trying to get you so low in your carnal nature that you are never able to connect with your higher self. Don't be fooled by the illusion. Remember that the Most High never makes mistakes. And so the way that the Most High has created the physical vessel of the divine feminine is never a mistake. It's beautiful. We don't need no plastic. We don't need to be walking around with everything fake, creating illusions. Don't be fooled by the illusions, because anytime you see a woman who is fake from head to toe, she is handing you a representative. And there is a spiritual reflection to everything that is presented to you in the physical realm. So if she's fake physically, then she is also fake spiritually, mentally, emotionally. You will never see the true nature of who she is if she's afraid to show you who she is when you first meet her. If that's how she presents herself to the world through illusions, then she's also going to feed you illusions. And so you got to be able to see it from a higher perspective. You got to start embracing and uplifting the goddesses, uplifting natural beauty, uplifting spiritual women, uplifting intuitive women, uplifting the healers of the community and the women who are graceful and feminine. Uplift that energy and call out those who are in opposition to it. That way it's understood for the younger men that's coming up, the youth, that is not the standard of beauty. That is not what the gods and the kings are attracted to. Speak out about it. Bring it out. Call them out. Because we got to shift the entire objective of the powers that were. It's our responsibility to get things back into alignment and to remind those who are coming behind us what it really is. So that's my message for you all. If you have anything to add, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave your comment below. I would love to hear from you. And I'll talk to y'all next time.